The night was quiet in Portland, Oregon. 10-year-old twins Lisa and Eric Johnson were sound asleep in their beds. Their room glowed with little stars that their father John had stuck on the ceiling. Outside, a strange light moved across the sky. Lisa woke up first. She saw a blue light coming through her window. "Eric," she whispered, shaking her brother awake. "Look outside." Eric rubbed his eyes and looked. The blue light was getting brighter. They both got out of bed and moved to the window. "Should we wake up Mom and Dad?" Eric asked. Before Lisa could answer, the blue light filled the whole room. The twins felt strange, like they were floating. Then everything went dark. John and Mary Johnson woke up to silence. Too much silence. Every morning the twins would jump on their beds or run down the hallway, but this morning was different. "Kids?" Mary called out. No answer. They rushed to the twins' room. Empty beds, open window. No sign of a break-in. Just two children gone, without a trace. The Johnsons weren't alone in their fear. That same night, all around the world, 300 children vanished from their beds. In New York, Chicago, London, Tokyo, Moscow, and dozens of other cities, parents woke to find their children missing. World leaders called emergency meetings. Police forces searched everywhere. News networks ran non-stop coverage of the mass kidnappings. "This appears to be a coordinated attack," said FBI Director Sam Miller at a press conference. "We are treating this as the largest kidnapping case in human history." But they found no demands, no ransom notes, just empty beds and broken families. What no one knew was that the children were no longer on Earth. High above the planet, a massive ship moved silently away. Inside, 300 frightened children huddled in clear cells, watched by tall gray-skinned beings with 4 arms and large black eyes. Commander Freknar walked through the rows of cells, observing the human young with satisfaction. "The specimens are secured," he reported into a device on his wrist. "All 300 as requested by Emperor Zaxthar." "Excellent," came the reply. "The Emperor is pleased. These humans have genetic qualities unlike any we've seen in our 1,000 years of expansion. Their young will provide valuable research material." Lisa and Eric sat together in their cell, holding hands. Around them, other children cried or slept or stared blankly at their captors. "Where are we going?" Lisa asked one of the gray beings who brought them food. The alien tilted its head, studying her with interest. It spoke in a series of clicks and whistles to another alien nearby. "This one attempts communication," the alien said in its own language. "Note its lack of fear. Most interesting." Back on Earth, a military satellite operator named Ryan Cooper stared at his screen in disbelief. He had captured something leaving Earth's atmosphere at incredible speed, something huge that didn't match any known aircraft. "Sir," he called to his superior, "I think you need to see this." The recording showed a massive ship, unlike anything humans had ever built, accelerating away from Earth. The officer's face went pale. "Get me the Joint Chiefs, now." In the days that followed, governments around the world kept the satellite footage secret while they tried to understand what it meant. Was this the explanation for the missing children? John and Mary Johnson joined other parents in daily vigils and searches. They put up posters with Lisa and Eric's smiling faces. They begged for any information. "We just want our babies back," Mary said during a television interview, tears streaming down her face. "Whoever took them, please just let them come home." But their children were moving farther away with each passing second, toward the center of the vast galactic hegemony, an empire spanning thousands of worlds that had just made a terrible mistake. They had taken the children of Earth, and humanity would not forgive. 6 months passed with no answers. Parents of the missing children lost hope. Police investigations went cold. The world began to move on, but not everyone. At the Deep Space Communication Array in New Mexico, Dr. Alan Pierce worked late nights scanning the stars. His niece was among the missing, and he refused to stop looking. On a cold Tuesday night, his computer detected something unusual. A signal from deep space. Not random noise, but a pattern. A message. Dr. Pierce's hands shook as he decoded it. Then he saw the images. Hundreds of Earth children in strange rooms with metal walls. They wore matching gray clothes. Alien beings studied them, took samples, and ran tests. He recognized his niece immediately, and he saw the Johnson twins, Lisa and Eric, holding hands. In a glass room, Dr. Pierce called his superiors with shaking hands. "I found them," he said, his voice breaking. "The children, they're not on Earth." Within hours, the highest levels of government saw the footage. The truth could no longer be hidden. Humanity was not alone in the universe, and someone had taken their children. The news spread worldwide like wildfire. Riots broke out in major cities. Religious leaders called for prayer. Military forces went on high alert. In Washington, D.C., the United Earth Defense Council met in an emergency session. Military commanders, scientists, and political leaders gathered to address the crisis. Admiral Samantha Wright stood before the council. She was tall with short gray hair and eyes that had seen combat. "We have identified the signal source," she said. "It comes from a system 20 light years away. Based on the footage, we face an advanced civilization that spans multiple star systems." "What can we possibly do against such power?" asked a council member. Admiral Wright's expression hardened. "We fight back, but not with ships and armies. We don't have that technology yet. We fight with what humans do best: adapt and strike." From the shadows, she unveiled her plan. Operation Ghost Protocol, a force of 70,000 elite soldiers, spies, and special forces operators from around the world. They would be trained as assassins equipped with Earth's most advanced technology and sent to infiltrate the alien empire. "Our goal is simple," said Admiral Wright. "Find our children, bring them home, make them pay." The council voted unanimously to approve the plan. Among those selected for the mission was Jack Harris, uncle to Lisa and Eric Johnson. A former Navy SEAL, he volunteered the moment he heard about the plan. "I promised my sister I'd find her kids," he told his commanding officer. "I don't care if I have to search the whole galaxy." Training began on Titan, Saturn's largest moon. A secret base had been built there years earlier for deep space research. Now it became the launching point for humanity's counterattack. The selected warriors trained in zero gravity. They learned to use experimental weapons. Scientists worked day and night to understand the alien technology seen in the transmissions. Dr. Kevin Martinez led the science team. He studied the images of the alien beings. "They call themselves the hegemony," he explained to the assassins in training. "Based on their physical features, they evolved in high-gravity environments. This gives us an advantage. You'll be stronger than they are in their own environment." The assassins trained for a year. They learned everything possible about their enemy from the limited information available. They prepared to blend in, to hide, to strike, and to escape. Meanwhile, more transmissions arrived. The children were being changed. Tests showed they had unique genetic traits the aliens found valuable. The hegemony was planning to use them to enhance their own species. John and Mary Johnson were shown the latest images of their twins. The children looked thinner, paler. They had strange marks on their arms where tests had been done. "When do they go?" John asked Admiral Wright, his voice tight with anger. "Soon," she replied. "We're building the ships now." On Titan, 1000, stealth vessels took shape. Black ships designed to slip past alien sensors carrying humanity's vengeance to the stars. The training on Titan was harder than anything Jack Harris had ever experienced. Even his years as a Navy SEAL hadn't prepared him for this. Every day, the 70,000 chosen warriors trained in simulated alien environments. They learned to move in different gravity, to breathe strange air mixtures, and to fight with new weapons. "Again," shouted the instructor as Jack failed to hit the target with his new plasma knife. The weapon was based on alien technology found in the scout ship that Earth forces had captured 3 months earlier. The scout ship had been a stroke of luck. A small hegemony vessel had returned to study Earth. This time, the humans were ready. Fighter jets forced it down in the Arizona desert. The pilot didn't survive, but the ship remained mostly intact. Dr. Kevin Martinez worked day and night studying the alien technology. "Their ships use a form of jump gate technology," he explained to Admiral Wright during a briefing. They can create temporary wormholes between points in space. With these, our assassins can spread throughout their empire quickly. Admiral Wright nodded. Can we replicate it? We already have. Dr. Martinez smiled. The first prototype is ready for testing. Jack mastered the plasma knife by his third week. Next came language training. The neural implants were painful. Surgeons placed tiny devices in each assassin's brain that allowed them to understand alien languages. Learning to speak them would take time, but understanding would be instant. This will hurt, the surgeon told Jack before the procedure. But after, you'll understand their words. Jack thought of Lisa and Eric as the needle entered his skull. The twins were smart kids who loved to read. Eric wanted to be an astronaut when he grew up. Lisa dreamed of being a doctor. Now they were test subjects in an alien lab. The pain of the implant was nothing compared to the pain in his heart. The assassins were divided into teams based on their skills. Jack led a team of 12, all former special forces, all with family among the missing children. Your team will target the capital planet, Admiral Wright told him. Intelligence suggests that's where the leaders keep their most valuable specimens. My niece and nephew are not specimens, Jack said through clenched teeth. Admiral Wright put a hand on his shoulder. I know. That's why I'm sending you there. Find them, Jack. The scientists developed special camouflage suits that could alter appearance. With these, humans could blend in among the various aliens of the hegemony. The suits couldn't make them look exactly like the aliens, but they could make them look like lesser species, servants or slaves in the empire. These will get you past basic security, Dr. Martinez explained as he demonstrated the technology. But close inspection will reveal you're human. Don't get caught. Each team received a stealth ship, black as space itself, with technology that absorbed scanning signals rather than reflecting them. They were small, built for speed and stealth, not comfort. Jack's team practiced mission scenarios daily: infiltration, data gathering, combat, extraction, over and over until it became muscle memory. At night, Jack looked at pictures of Lisa and Eric. Their parents sent him new ones each week. Old memories from happier times, birthday parties, beach trips, Christmas mornings. He kept them in a small metal case next to his bunk. I'm coming, he whispered to their smiling faces. Hold on just a little longer. 1 year after the abduction, the assassin fleet was ready. 1,000 stealth vessels lined up on Titan's launch pad. Inside each, assassin teams checked their gear one last time. Admiral Wright addressed them from the command center on Europa. You are the sword of humanity, she said, her voice reaching every ship. Silent, deadly, precise. Find our children. Bring them home. Make them regret the day they ever heard of Earth. Jack strapped into the pilot seat of his ship. His team sat silently behind him, checking weapons and suits. For the children, he said. For the children, they repeated. The fleet lifted off from Titan, dark ships rising into darker space, carrying humanity's vengeance to the stars. The journey through the jump gate felt like being pulled through a straw. Jack's body stretched and compressed at the same time. Then suddenly, his ship emerged in a new star system. Before them lay Zaxthar Prime, the capital planet of the hegemony. Unlike Earth, it had 3 large moons and rings of space stations around it. Thousands of ships moved between the planet and the stations. Camouflage systems on, Jack ordered. His ship disappeared from view, becoming just another patch of empty space. All across the Empire, the other 999 ships did the same. The human fleet spread out, infiltrating key systems of the hegemony. Each with their own targets, each searching for the missing children. Jack's team landed in a remote area outside the capital city. The planet's gravity was stronger than Earth's, but their training on Titan had prepared them. They moved in the darkness, their camouflage suits adjusting to make them look like Krell, a servant species in the Empire. Remember, Jack whispered to his team, we're maintenance workers. Keep your heads down. They entered the city through a service tunnel. The capital was enormous, with towering buildings that reached into the clouds. Flying vehicles zipped between them. Aliens of all types walked the streets. Some looked almost human. Others had multiple limbs or eyes or were made of what looked like living crystal. The team split into pairs. Jack and his partner Sam moved toward the central database hub. According to their intelligence, all research projects were registered there. "Acting like you belong is half the battle," Sam said as they walked past a group of real Krell. None of the aliens gave them a second look. The database hub was a massive building in the center of the city. Guards stood at every entrance checking. "IDs. Follow my lead," Jack said. They walked to a service entrance where fewer guards stood. Jack approached confidently, holding out a fake ID they had created based on captured data. The guard, a tall four-armed being, barely looked at it before waving them through. Inside, they found a maintenance panel and plugged in a device Dr. Martinez had created. It bypassed the security and gave them access to the system. "I'm in," Sam whispered as alien text scrolled across his portable screen. The neural implant translated it instantly. "Searching for Project Genesis now." While Sam worked, Jack kept watch. Other workers moved around them, but no one paid attention to two more maintenance Krell. "Got it," Sam finally said. "Project Genesis. It's a breeding program. They're using the children's DNA to create hybrids." Jack felt sick. "Where are they keeping them?" "Multiple facilities," Sam said. "The data shows 6 main research centers across the Empire." He continued searching. "Wait, I found something. Lisa and Eric Johnson. They're listed as prime specimens due to their twin genetics. They're being kept here, in the Emperor's personal research facility." Jack's heart raced. His niece and nephew were on this very planet. "Download everything," he ordered. As they worked, other teams across the Empire were doing the same. In space stations on moons and on other planets, human assassins gathered information and established hidden bases. A team led by Kate Miller had infiltrated a small moon called Crux. There they found Facility Alpha 7, one of the research centers, housing 50 Earth children. "We've confirmed visual on the targets," Kate reported back to Admiral Wright on Europa. "Planning extraction now." On Europa, Admiral Wright coordinated all teams from a secure bunker. Reports came in from across the Empire as teams located more children and prepared for the next phase. "Phase 1 complete," she announced to her staff. "Our forces are in position. The hegemony still has no idea we're here." Back on Zaxthar Prime, Jack and Sam returned to their hidden ship with the stolen data. The rest of their team had also succeeded in their missions, mapping the capital's security and finding entry points to the Emperor's facility. Jack studied the building plans they had stolen. The Emperor's research facility was the most heavily guarded building on the planet. "It won't be easy," Sam said, looking over his shoulder. Jack thought of Lisa and Eric, frightened and alone among aliens who saw them only as test subjects. "It doesn't matter how hard it is," he said. "We're going in." Around the Empire, 70,000 human assassins prepared for the next phase, the first strike. The moon Crux hung like a gray jewel in space. On its surface, Facility Alpha 7 stood lonely in a vast crater. Inside were 50 Earth children, guarded by hegemony scientists and soldiers. Commander Laura Baker checked her weapons one last time. Her team of 20 assassins waited in the shadows outside the facility. "Remember," she whispered. "Quick and quiet. No alarms until we have the children." They moved like ghosts across the rocky ground. 2 guards stood at the entrance. Laura signaled, and silenced weapons took them down before they could make a sound. Inside, the team split up. Half headed to the security room to disable alarms and cameras. The other half, led by Laura, went to the holding cells. The halls were empty. Most of the staff slept at this hour. Those who were awake soon met silent ends from Laura's team. In the security room, the assassins found the controls. With devices made by Dr. Martinez, they looped the camera feeds and disabled alert systems. "Security down," came the report in Laura's ear. "You're clear to proceed." She led her team deeper into the facility. Through a large window, they saw rows of small beds. Children slept inside, some restless, some too still. Medical equipment monitored them. tubes and wires connected to their small bodies. Laura's heart pounded. She had no children of her own, but seeing these kids caged like lab animals filled her with rage. "Cut the locks," she ordered. Her team worked quickly. The doors opened with soft hisses. Some children woke up, eyes wide with fear, until they saw human faces. "We're from Earth," Laura said gently to a small girl who couldn't be more than 7. "We've come to take you home." The girl began to cry. Soon all the children were awake, some crying, some too shocked to make a sound. "Disconnect them carefully," Laura told her team. "Check for trackers or implants." As they worked, an alarm suddenly blared. Someone had triggered a backup system they'd missed. "We've got company," warned a team member at the door. "Lots of them." Guards rushed down the hallway, weapons ready. The assassins moved the children to the back of the room and took defensive positions. "Protect the children at all costs," Laura ordered. Then to her communication device. "Command, this is Alpha Team. We need immediate extraction. Hostiles engaged." The guards fired first. Energy bolts hit the walls around the doorway. Laura's team returned fire with deadly accuracy. Their Earth weapons had been enhanced with alien technology, giving them an edge. But more guards kept coming. Laura knew they couldn't hold out forever. "Fall back to position 2, she ordered. They moved the children through a side door toward their escape route. 2 assassins fell, protecting their retreat. Laura carried a small boy who couldn't walk, his legs weak from whatever tests the aliens had done. Outside, their ship waited. The team loaded the children as quickly as possible while holding off the pursuing guards. "Everyone on board!" Laura shouted as she fired at the approaching enemies. The ship lifted off just as reinforcements arrived. Hegemony fighters scrambled to pursue them, but the stealth technology engaged and they vanished from sensors. The children huddled together in the ship's hold, scared but safe. Medical team members checked them for injuries while others offered comfort. "We did it," Laura's second-in-command said. "First rescue complete." But across the Empire, alarms were now ringing. On 100 worlds, hegemony forces mobilized. The Shadow War had begun. On Zaxthar Prime, Emperor Zaxthar raged at his Security Council. "Find who did this," he demanded. "How dare they attack our research facility?" His advisors trembled before him. The Emperor was known for executing those who failed him. "We believe it was a raid by an unknown species," one brave advisor said. "They took only the Earth specimens." The Emperor's 4 eyes narrowed. "Earth? That primitive world? Impossible. They have no space travel capability." "Nevertheless, the evidence suggests double security at all facilities," the Emperor interrupted. "No more specimens are to be taken. Whatever this is, I want it crushed." Little did he know, 69,000 assassins still remained hidden throughout his empire, preparing for the next strike. Emperor Zaxthar declared an empire-wide emergency the day after the raid on Facility Alpha 7. His many-eyed face appeared on screens across thousands of worlds. "Citizens of the hegemony," he said, his voice deep and angry. "We are under attack by unknown forces. Travel is restricted. Security. Forces will check all ships. Report any suspicious activity immediately." On Zaxthar Prime, soldiers filled the streets. They checked everyone's identification. They searched buildings. They watched the skies. Jack Harris and his team had to change their plans. Their disguises as Krell maintenance workers would no longer work with the increased security. "We need better cover," Jack told his team as they hid in their safe house beneath the city. Sam looked up from his computer. "I found something. The Emperor is bringing in extra security for his personal facility. Elite guards from the outer worlds." Jack nodded. "Perfect. We become those guards." Across the Empire, other teams faced similar challenges. The hegemony's response was making movement difficult. Several teams were captured or killed when their disguises failed. Grand General Vrock, the Empire's top military commander, took personal charge of security. He was smarter than the Emperor, more careful. He studied the attack patterns. "These are not random raids," he told his officers. "They are targeting only facilities with Earth specimens. This suggests Earth itself may be involved." "Impossible," an officer replied. They have no jump gate technology. Then they acquired it somehow, Vrock said. Post guards at all research facilities. Triple the security around the remaining specimens. On Europa, Admiral Wright watched the situation through the reports coming in from her teams. The rescue missions were becoming more dangerous. They had retrieved 75 children so far, but lost 30 assassins in the process. We need to adjust our strategy, she told her staff. The element of surprise is gone. Dr. Martinez worked around the clock to improve their technology. The hegemony is adapting to our stealth systems, he explained. I'm developing new countermeasures, but it's a race against time. Jack's team prepared to infiltrate the Emperor's facility. They ambushed a transport carrying elite guards from the outer worlds. Taking their uniforms and IDs gave them the perfect cover. These guards are from a world called Brakis, Sam said, studying their captures. They're respected warriors. Even the Emperor's regular guards won't question them too closely. Wearing the stolen uniforms, Jack and 3 team members approached the Emperor's facility. The rest of the team waited nearby with their ship, ready for a quick escape. At the main gate, guards checked their IDs. Jack held his breath, wondering if the fakes would pass inspection. Welcome, Brakis warriors, the guard said finally. Report to Commander Zul for assignment. Inside the massive complex, Jack and his team moved with confidence. Their implants translated all the alien speech around them. They learned the facility's layout, noting security positions and camera locations. The research labs are in the lower levels, Jack told his team through their secure comms. We need access codes. They found Commander Zul in the security office. He was a tall, thin alien with gray skin. Jack saluted in the Braki style they had practiced. Sir, we were told to report directly to the specimen labs, Jack said. Zul looked suspicious. I received no such orders. Jack's team member moved behind the commander. One quick strike and Zul collapsed. They took his access card and codes. We have 10 minutes before someone notices he's missing, Jack said. They hurried to the lower levels. Each security door opened with Zul's card. Finally, they reached the special research wing where the prime specimens were kept. Jack's heart pounded as they approached the final door. Beyond it would be Lisa and Eric, if the intelligence was correct. He swiped the card and entered the code. The door slid open. Inside was a large laboratory with gleaming equipment. And there, in a special clear chamber in the center, were 2 small figures with familiar faces. But they looked different now. Changed. Altered by alien science. Lisa and Eric Johnson looked up at the guards who entered, fear in their eyes. They didn't recognize their uncle behind his alien disguise. Jack's heart broke at the sight of Lisa and Eric. The twins had pale skin now, almost translucent. Their eyes were larger, with a slight glow to them. Small scales appeared along their arms. We need to move quickly, Sam whispered. Jack approached the clear chamber. Lisa pulled Eric behind her, protecting her brother as she always had. Stay back, she said in English, her voice stronger than Jack expected. Jack removed his alien mask, revealing his human face. Lisa, Eric, it's me, Uncle, Jack. Their eyes widened. Lisa stepped forward cautiously, pressing her hand against the clear wall. Uncle Jack, really? Tears filled her eyes. You came for us? I promised I would, Jack said, his voice breaking. We're taking you home. Sam worked on the chamber controls. Security systems are complex. Give me 2 minutes. Jack kept talking. To the twins. Your mom and dad miss you so much. Everyone on Earth knows about you. We've been searching for 18 months. Eric stepped forward. The others? The other kids? We're rescuing them too, Jack assured him. Many are already home. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the facility. Sam looked up from the controls. Someone discovered Commander Zul. We're out of time. The chamber door finally slid open. Jack rushed in and embraced the twins. Despite their changes, they were still his niece and nephew. They clung to him, sobbing. Let's go, Jack said, lifting Eric in his arms while Lisa held his hand. They rushed toward the exit, but guards already blocked the way. Jack and his team took cover protecting the children. "Command, this is Phoenix Team." Jack spoke into his communicator. "We have the targets, but need immediate assistance." Across the city, other human teams received his call. They had prepared for this. Operation Firebreak began. Explosions erupted across the capital. Power stations went dark. Communication centers fell silent. The backup teams created chaos to cover Jack's escape. In the confusion, Jack led the twins through a service corridor. Guards followed, firing energy weapons that scorched the walls around them. "Stay down," Jack told the twins as his team returned fire. One of Jack's team fell, hit by enemy fire. Another was wounded but kept moving. "The extraction point is 2 levels up," Sam said, checking the building map. They reached a maintenance elevator. As the doors closed, guards rounded the corner, firing. Jack took a hit to his shoulder but remained standing. "Uncle Jack," Lisa cried out, seeing the blood. "I'm okay," he grunted. "Keep moving." The elevator opened to the landing platform where supply ships arrived. Jack's remaining team secured the area, while Sam called for their hidden ship to approach. The sky darkened as their black ship descended. The loading ramp opened. "Run!" Jack ordered, pushing the twins forward. More guards burst onto the platform. Jack and Sam provided covering fire as the twins boarded the ship. Just as they turned to board themselves, a tall figure appeared. Emperor Zaxathar himself stood before them, his 4 eyes blazing with anger. "You dare steal from me?" the Emperor roared. Jack raised his weapon, but the Emperor moved with surprising speed. A blast of energy from the Emperor's staff knocked Jack back. Sam fired, hitting the Emperor in the shoulder. The alien leader howled in pain but remained standing. Jack stumbled to his feet. "Get to the ship," he yelled to Sam. Sam hesitated, then ran up the ramp. Jack faced the Emperor alone. "You're just a human," Zaxthar sneered. "A primitive from a backward world." Jack smiled grimly. "A primitive who infiltrated your palace, stole your prisoners, and is about to shoot you." He fired 3 rapid shots. The first 2 hit the Emperor's chest. The third struck his primary left eye. The mighty ruler of the hegemony fell to his knees, dark blood flowing from his wounds. Jack didn't wait to see if the Emperor would die. He turned and ran up the ship's ramp as it began to close. Inside, Lisa and Eric waited, holding each other's hands. Jack collapsed into a seat beside them as the ship took off, vanishing into the night sky of Zaxthar Prime. "Are we going home now?" Eric asked quietly. Jack looked at their changed faces, wondering how Earth would receive these children who were no longer fully human. "Yes," he said. "We're going home." News of Emperor Zaxthar's injury spread across the hegemony like wildfire. Grand General Vrock tried to maintain order, but panic took hold. Many worlds saw this as a chance to break free from imperial rule. Jack's ship joined others heading back to Earth. After 18 months of shadow war, most of the children had been rescued. 265 were coming home. 35 had not survived the experiments. On the journey, Jack sent messages to Admiral Wright. "Mission accomplished, target secure, Emperor down." The twins slept most of the way, exhausted from their ordeal. When awake, they told Jack about their time in captivity, the tests, the changes to their bodies, the other children they had seen come and go. "They said we were special," Lisa explained. "Our twin DNA had something they wanted." Jack nodded. "You are special, but not because of your DNA." As ships returned to the solar system, humanity prepared for the children's arrival. Doctors and scientists gathered on Europa base. Parents waited anxiously on Earth. John and Mary Johnson arrived at the military base in Nevada where Jack's ship would land. They had been warned about the changes to their children. "Will they recognize us?" Mary asked the officer who briefed them. "Yes, ma'am, their memories are intact, but please understand, they've been through trauma we can't imagine." Jack's ship landed on a clear desert morning. Medical teams stood ready. Security forces formed a perimeter. John and Mary waited behind a line, holding each other's hands. The ship's ramp lowered. Jack appeared first, his arm in a sling from his wound. Behind him came Lisa and Eric, blinking in the bright sunlight of their home planet. Despite the warnings, Mary gasped at the sight of her changed children, their pale skin, their large, slightly glowing eyes, the scales on their arms. But then Lisa looked up and saw her parents. "Mom! Dad!" she cried out, pulling Eric forward. The security line broke as John and Mary ran to their children. They fell to their knees, embracing the twins. Tears flowed freely as the family reunited after nearly 2 years apart. Similar scenes played out across the world as more children returned home. Not all stories ended happily. Some children were too changed, physically or mentally. Some parents couldn't accept what their children had become. But most families found their way forward together. In the hegemony, civil war erupted. With the emperor gravely wounded and many worlds in rebellion, the once mighty empire began to fracture. 3 weeks after the return of the children, a hegemony ship entered Earth's solar system under a flag of truce. Grand General Vrock had come to negotiate. In a secure room on the lunar base, Vrock faced Admiral Wright across a table. "The Hegemony Council wishes to discuss terms," Vrock said stiffly. Admiral Wright's expression remained cold. "Our terms are simple. Return any remaining children. Pay reparations for those we lost. Recognize Earth as sovereign and never threaten us again." "And if we refuse?" Vrock asked. Wright leaned forward. "Then we send not 70,000, but 7 million. Not just assassins, but an army. We are learning your technology quickly. We are adapting it, improving it. The next time we come, it won't be to rescue. It will be to conquer." Vrock considered her words. He had seen what just 70,000 humans could do to the mighty hegemony. He had no desire to face millions more. "The council will accept your terms," he said at last. 1 month later, memorial services were held worldwide for the 35 children who never returned and the 12,458 assassins who died bringing the others home. On the moon, a monument was built, a simple stone wall with every name carved into it. At the base, a plaque read, "They took our children. We showed them our fury." Jack Harris stood before the monument with Lisa and Eric beside him. The twins looked at the names, understanding the sacrifice made for them. "What happens now?" Eric asked. Jack looked up at Earth, beautiful and blue in the black sky. "Now we go to the stars," he said. "Not as victims, but as equals, and the galaxy will remember. Never threaten the children of Earth."